Hey guys, it's Evil Aniki, and today we're going to be talking about all of the bad things that happened at Anime Expo. First of all, I just want to say I think this year's Anime Expo was a raving success. I was so ecstatic that I didn't have to wait in line that wrapped around a building for 2 hours this year. The AX crossing was amazing, and there's just a few things I want to talk about. Just because I think they're topical. So let's just jump right into it because there's a lot to get through in today's video. So starting off with number one, we have an artist here. I've been to their booth before. I'm not going to pronounce their name right. Keozia. I'm not going to even bother. But they've been to the exhibitor hall before, previous years at Anime Expo, and I believe they even do other cons. But they're like a VTuber artist, so they've got like a TV monitor there, and they're like live drawing, and it's super cool. But they have a booth there, and apparently representatives from Viz Media were going around and copyright striking any booth that was selling merchandise with their IP at the booth. So they agreed later on that this makes sense that Viz Media has the total rights to do this. They just wanted to warn people about posting this, and as you can see here, they got a cease and desist or a notice of infringement for Darling and the Franxx, Evangelion, Fairy Tail, Lucky Star, Dragon Maid, for jewelry, wallets, trinkets, lanyards, keychains, and this is crazy. And I know they are not the only person who got hit by this. I don't know if this made its way down to Artist Alley. Usually, Artist Alley is in the clear for this kind of thing. And when you make it up to the exhibit hall, because usually you start off in Artist Alley and then you grow as a booth, and then you move up to the exhibitor hall eventually. If that's how things go for you. But yeah, so they normally are in the exhibitor hall, and yeah, this is just a big bummer for them. And let me know down in the comments below if this did affect anyone in Artist Alley. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I do know I've seen a few people talking about how they got in trouble. Well, I shouldn't say got in trouble, but they were told that they couldn't sell certain items outside or inside the convention center. So yeah, just wanted to put this one on blast because this one is a big one. Normally, conventions warn you about this kind of thing beforehand, and seeing that they've attended this convention before and they didn't, they weren't affected previous years, it's a little kind of iffy, like, I, yeah, it's just a weird one. But let's get into the next one because the next one is a fun one. Oh boy. So I guess down at the Westin, Master Roshi got a little too drunk and started harassing people, and some people dragged him out and started beating him. This is pretty brutal. Oh my God. Uh, wow. I mean, Master Roshi, he fucked around and he found out. This is absolutely wild. This is coming off of Reddit. I found this on Reddit. This is just a wild story. Like what? Man, this is like that meme with like the JoJo where they're like beating the guy. This is just wild. I don't know what more to say than this is that, drunk shenanigans at conventions are always going to be a thing, especially when you have a convention as big as Anime Expo. There's always going to be some level of chaos going on like this. Uh, yeah, and it's just crazy. There was so many people with cameras out for this convention too. So many people are vlogging nowadays. But that's it for this. Let's go on to the next one. So this one actually I saw from a friend's story. This is from Saturday night. So inside the AX crossing, someone had to be EMT'd out of the crossing. I'm assuming because they collapsed or something. And it's just shocking that this happened on Saturday night inside the crossing. So this wasn't like someone outside the convention center. This was someone inside the ticketed area that collapsed, in the food court area. Like this is just kind of wild. Like I I don't even know. I hope this person's okay, but it's just kind of shocking to see a fire truck and an ambulance just parked there. Uh I didn't even see about this until like the day before. This is just wild, or the day after. Okay. The next story. Ooh, can you guys see the odd man out in this picture? So, Hololive, big success going on for this expo. I know Hololive has had a few issues with Anime Expo, and that's kind of why they had the big Dodger Stadium event. And I know a lot of people left to go to the Dodger Stadium Hololive night, which raving success for them. That's amazing. I saw a lot of photos of it. It looked really cool. I know there's a lot of people selling scalped Hololive baseball cards for like a couple $100 per card, which is just absolutely insane. And apparently the merch is going for a lot on the secondary market as well. And I really hope they do it again because it was really cool. But as you can see from here, V Shoujo had amazing reception, and Doki Bird had an amazing reception as well. I don't actually know what booth Doki Bird is at. I don't know where that is exactly, but it looks like they all three of them had amazing crowds. Now, can you tell which one didn't have an amazing crowd? It's Niji Sanji. Niji Sanji has consecutively shot themselves in the foot time and time again with with all of their controversies from from talents being abused and bad contracts and just all these things that go on behind the scenes in like a VTuber agency, is just finally coming to light for them. And it's crazy. I mean, they even had a concert at the start of Anime Expo. They were supposed to have like a live in-person concert aspect to it, and that part got pulled back. So now it was just a live stream because they couldn't sell enough tickets, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. How poorly Niji Sanji has been doing, and I know Niji Sanji, I don't know if they got kicked out or removed, or they just decided not to for Anime Impulse. Anime Impulse stopped doing things with them. They also had a bunch of like brand deals that like kind of like fell apart, and yeah, it's just kind of uh, it sucks because like I'm sure there's still good people working at Niji Sanji, but dang, this is clear. Like this clearly shows that Niji Sanji is on the way out. But after this image went, this image went a little viral on Twitter. The next day, I took this photo. Uh, they had event staff just standing at their booth all day long, and look at this. Like I can tell you right now, right behind me, because right across from them was the V Shoujo booth, and V Shoujo just crazy packed. And for them, they had like two booth staffers just handing out flyers the entire time, and then just this event staff guy just standing here all day long with his walkie-talkie. Like this is just it's so weird. I think they were kind of like expecting something to happen, and I don't think anything ever happened. It's just really intimidating to have your staff just stand there, like handing out flyers. And I don't know. Maybe it's because they didn't have like a proper, I don't know if they had any meet and greet scheduled. It's just a weird, it was giving off weird vibes. Like just walking by it, just having someone like kind of like stare you down as you walk by their booth is just kind of awkward. Like they're standing in front of these statues. Like how is anyone going to come up and take pictures if you're just standing in front of them putting flyers? It's just a little intimidating. Like maybe put them at a table and give some actual freebies away. There was nothing there other than their giant figures that were really for people. And yeah, it's just weird. Another big controversial thing that happened at Anime Expo was Good Smile announced that they were doing an Android with Fillion. The big issue, of course, is that Fillion did not own the merchandise rights to her model. And my understanding is Good Smile and Fillion have worked out an agreement with the original artist. I believe Fillion, I don't know if she didn't pay for copyright, like the merchandise rights for her model in advance or whatnot, because I know like VTuber stuff can be very up in the air. It was like when you buy something, it's like you don't get the actual copyright to it, or you can't sell merchandise to it unless you pay an extra fee. And yeah, I mean, Felian just constantly having controversies around them, but this is not a good look. And they actually had to take down their announcement for a little bit and then talk to the artist, and then I think it went back up, which it just goes to show, it's a crazy world out there. Hopefully, the artist gets compensated appropriately. And shout out to them for getting an Android design. I'd love to get an Android design. Let me design an Android. Yeah, and here's another post. Jingo, the original creator of Fillion's character and model, which has never been credited properly. I didn't know that. Did not give Fillion permission for any of the merch she decided to produce. They were only informed after the announcement. Yeah, that's a bad look on Fillion. Not too sure what to say about that. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. This is gonna be a big one. So I went to this premiere. I went to the premiere of what is it like, plus sized elf? I don't even remember the name of it. I think it's just plus sized elf. Anyway, it's like it was an 18 plus screening, but the whole episode was censored like beyond belief. And this there's a few things that came up from online. Someone sent this to me. Apparently, the staff at High Dive didn't realize that they were told they were going to get the uncensored fund for the 18 plus screening because you needed to have a wristband for this panel, and they didn't. There's apparently three different versions of this series. There's the uncensored version, which was the one that was supposed to be shown. There was a censored version for streaming, and then there's a censored version for TV that's overly censored. And the one that they showed was the overly censored one for TV because they even censored some shots of like panties, like they were wearing clothes and they were still censored or something like that. I'm gonna be honest though, guys. This plus sized elf is not a good show. It's not like the animation was like, ooh, it was bad. It was real bad. I really liked the manga and I was really looking forward to it, but the quality of the animation really disappointed me. Like the first 10 minutes were great. I thought it lacked a little bit of quality in the terms of like actual animation, like because they would just hold on frames a lot, and then like they had some weird, keyframes, like they were in weird positions or it was animated a little bit weird. And it wasn't that egregious, but then like the second half of the episode was almost like a little bit of a retelling of part of the first half, but it was all in chibi format. And it was like, I don't know, I want to say it felt like forever. It was like maybe like 7 to 10, I don't know, it could be 5 minutes, it could have been 10 minutes, I don't know, I lost track of time. But it was so bad. It was like chibi, it was like a chibi workout tutorial for like 10 half of the episode, and it was just so boring. Like if it was a minute, I wouldn't have cared. But because it was like so long, it was just the worst thing. And this post here is basically talking about how people walked out of the screening. I sat towards the front and I didn't notice anyone walking out. I imagine I honestly wanted to walk out because it was bad. It was bad. I was really disappointed. I really hope that maybe just the first episode's bad and they like make it better. I don't know. I'm just so disappointed. I've heard that the studio just is a little lackluster in general. And this just doesn't seem like the type of anime. The quality was so bad that like to have a premiere for this show just doesn't make sense. Like you could have premiered any other show. You could have given me a rerun of another show and it would have been a better experience. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, that was a bad one. Okay, next up, this is from Ezzy, and apparently Anime Expo staff, which they did not let people into the JW rooms. Security refused to let anybody with industry, press, or exhibitors badges into the JW panel rooms. The JW panel rooms were uh, I don't think it was actual AX staff. I think it might have been like building security. But they denied industry guests, and a team that created Blue Box were denied entry to their own screening, I believe, which is just ridiculous. I don't know what Anime Expo was thinking with this one. I feel like the whole JW side of things was really done poorly, and we'll get to that more in just a second. But yeah, this is just disappointing. I don't know why this happened. I can't imagine like maybe they tried to skip the lines, and because they had industry press or exhibitors badges, they thought they could skip the lines. I don't think that's the case because they don't say that they tried skipping the lines. They said they were refused entry. So I don't know. Normally they have like a spot on the side for like people who are like are reserved, and so in each panel room there's like a reserved section, and they just didn't let them into the reserve section, especially if it's the staff that worked on the project. It's weird that they didn't let them in because the main events hall did that definitely for all of their panels, and that's where most of the panels I went to were. Next up, Okay, so this is at the JW as well. This is from the Dan to Dan screening, or Don to Don, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna be honest. This line here goes in front of me and then wraps around to the left. All these people you see here on the right, uh, almost positive none of these people got into the screening. The line ended, like the amount of people that got in was maybe about 20 to 50 people after me. It got cut off. So all these beautiful people right here just completely out of luck. I don't understand why we're still having these kind of issues with panel rooms like this, or like, if you know how many chairs are in a room and you have a person with a clicker, just walk down the line and click. It's not that hard. You don't need to have people waiting in line for 3 hours. Well, I shouldn't say 3 hours. I was in line for maybe about an hour and a half outside. You don't need to have people waiting in line for an hour and a half outside. Uh, you could have just had someone walk through with a clicker. And I will say, so this line is outside the JW, which means we had to walk in through the lobby and then walk across the lobby to the escalators to get up to the second floor. Some people actually tried cutting in front of me, and luckily the security who was there was assigning everyone numbers. He was like, "You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6." I was number 47, and the people after me were 48, 49. And yeah, some people tried cutting in front of me, and he's like, "What's your number?" And they didn't have a number, and then I was like, "I'm number 47," and then they got booted out. And yeah, so luckily for me that happened because I didn't even notice, like, the like when you like, there's so many people inside the JW lobby that having a line just cut through there is just bound to have people like that trying to do that. And shout out to security for doing that, but also this is something that shouldn't have happened to begin with, because they should have just known how, like, maybe give out tickets for it or something. I don't know. This is just absolutely mind-blowing, like, why this is still happening. I mean, it sucked for all these people who waited in line for an hour and didn't get in, because they could have just known that they didn't get in. And they walked by me like 3 times, saying, "Just let you know, you may or may not get in." Like, what do you mean, may or may not get in? Don't you guys count how many people go into a room? Don't you guys count the number of chairs? Like, I don't understand, like, the thought process. Like, there's just normally, like, it's just bad. It's just bad. Like, the main events hall was run so smoothly with, like, getting people into their chairs and having people sit down, and making sure everyone gets in. And the JW just didn't have any of that, which is just unfortunate. Oh, and then the last one I wanted to show, this is not loading up here for some reason. Here, let me get the video a different way. Here we go. So this is from the Nikkei meetup. I don't necessarily think the Nikkei meetup was a problem itself, although security did threaten to shut it down a few times. So this meetup last year, there was maybe less than 20 people at the Nikkei meetup. This year there was easily over 100, and as you can see, the cosplay site that they chose for it was too small. And unfortunately, it's not the end of the world, but dang, security, like, was on us. They were like coming over like every 10 minutes, being like, if you guys don't move, we're gonna shut you guys down. Like, and it's just like, whoa, bro, come on. Like, what? Like, this is another issue with Anime Expo in general, is all of the cosplay sites just kind of suck. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, this one, it's a bad spot. You shouldn't have a cosplay gathering site right outside of a walkway door. Like, that goes. It's just a bad spot. A same thing goes for they have one outside of the crypto arena, on the back side of the crypto arena. That spot, incredibly hot. There's a bunch of shade towards the parking garage area, but that's not a cosplay gathering site. That's just a gathering site for cosplayers. It's not like one of the registered meeting spots, which it should be. That spot should be reserved for cosplay gathering sites and not for just random photo shoots. Uh, no matter, like, it's just so weird. And there was also a cosplay gathering site on the inside of by AX Crossing, and apparently that one was just a bad one as well, because again, no shade, and it was out in the heat. and it's just a bad spot. A lot of the times these cosplay gathering sites, there's like half of them that are inside the convention center and half of them that are outside of the convention center, and it's just really like photographers who don't want to buy a ticket to get in to do this can't make it to the ones on the inside. And speaking of photographers, do you guys notice one person who's different in this whole crowd, who's kind of doing a thing he probably should be doing? I'll give you 3 seconds. Ding 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 ding. That's right, guys. This guy right here with the giant flash. Look at this. Look at how rude do you have to be to bring a flash to a cosplay gathering site? Like so many people in the back by me were complaining. I was already in the front. I was in the front for a while, and I moved out of the front to go to the back after the main sessions were done, and they started doing some smaller like raffle stuff, and then they had a few more group shots, and then I started pulling cosplayers aside for 1v1s. But this right here, like this is like the like a big no-no for cosplay gathering sites. Don't bring a flash. If you're gonna take a flash, go do a one-on-one. And look, because look at this, like I would have had a view of like three more people in that crowd if this guy didn't have this giant flash. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. Okay, you know what? Actually, I am. I'm saying you shouldn't be allowed to bring this in the convention center. This is something that should be banned from the convention center, in my opinion, because this is just nutty. Like, why? Like, I don't. So many people were complaining about this too. This was actually one of the people behind me was actually live streaming, and yeah, so shout out to them. And yeah, this got put up on the big front hall monitor as well. So everyone knows who you are, buddy. Bringing a flash, and it's also just kind of rude to use a flash at like a group photography session because it's going to mess with other people's photos and videos. Probably not so much me, but like a lot of these other people who are using like it'll just mess with them. Like it's just not a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Also, it's just so weird. Like everyone, I know Nikkei is big this year because the booth is there, but it's so crazy seeing it go like a tenfold growth from like last year. Like last year, there was like maybe like 10 cosplayers and like 10 photographers, and now it's like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I couldn't even be near the booth for so long because so many people were trying to do videos and photos. Again, like I said, there's just so many people this year who were doing photos and videos. It's it's becoming a thing, guys. Like maybe yeah, I don't know. A lot of competition out there for what I'm doing nowadays, I guess. But that's not the end of our stories. We got some more to talk about. Oh boy. Uh what do I say about this one? So apparently during the convention, this CD popped up in one of the booths and was for sale. I don't think there was anything illegal on the CD or anything suspicious on the CD. But if you guys know what this is, don't look it up. Don't watch it. It just kind of uh, just kind of a weird thing to see in a booth at Anime Expo in this day and age. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna leave on that one. Yeah, and then the last story is this one right here. So some of the autograph sessions were just like a complete shit show in general, and man, how do I like describe this? I don't really know. Uh, so Manga Gamer had a ticket distribution system, and basically people were cutting in line, and either like it was either famous people or people who were paying to cut in the line. Yeah, and my understanding is this happened with a bunch of different signings at uh this booth, and yeah, it just sucks, like people cutting in line or buying spots online, and then all of a sudden you don't get to get your signature because people paid to cut in line. It's just kind of crazy. Or because they have a big following. This post could be a little bit of a joke. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear a lot of things, a lot of murmurs about like about signature lines just being super chaotic. Um, in general. I was actually really sad. I had tried to get some of the actual event signatures through the show clicks or whatever it's called for the Dungeon Meshi creator, and unfortunately, she only had like 150 uh, autograph sessions between 2 days, and I didn't get one, and I was really really bummed out about it. And yeah, autographs. I think one of the things that Anime Expo really needs to improve is their how they handle their autographs, not just with their official ones, but with the ones how they let operate at booths, because it's just super super chaotic. And yeah, I don't know. But that's it for today's video, guys. Be sure. Okay, well, let me be sure to like and subscribe if you thought this video was interesting. And again, no hate for anyone in this video. This is just me talking about Anime Expo and the chaos that ensues from it. I love Anime Expo. I'm going to be going to Anime Expo for a long time. I've been going to Anime Expo for a long time. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the event, if you liked it or if you hated it, if you wish you could have gone, or if you prefer Impulse or Anime Los Angeles, or whatever your favorite event is. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.